Welcome to the Life Coaching Podcast, your go-to source for inspiration, transformation, and actionable insights. I am your host, Angela Gonzalez, and I am thrilled to have you on this journey towards personal excellence and empowerment. In each episode, I dive deep into the realms of life coaching, wealth creation, and personal development, sharing transformational stories from individuals who have achieved significant breakthroughs in their lives. Whether you are aiming to redefine your career, improve your relationships, or discover your true passions, this podcast is your partner in unlocking your full potential. Join me every week to hear from thought leaders, experts, and everyday heroes who share their practical strategies and heartfelt stories of success. If you are ready to unleash your potential, let's get started. Welcome back to the Life Coaching Podcast, where we continue to explore transformative tools and strategies to help you live your best life. If you have been following along from the previous episodes, you have heard some powerful insights on shifting your mindset and cultivating gratitude to transform your life with my guest, Angela Bennett. But what happens when those practices are applied consistently over time? In this third part of our conversation, we dive even deeper into how our daily habits shape our mental and emotional state and how they can either empower you or limit you. Angela will be sharing with you life-changing practices like how to assess your environment, create powerful intentions, and how reflecting on your past can fuel your future growth. If you are looking to gain clarity, increase your energy, and step into the next chapter of your life with purpose, this conversation is one you don't want to miss. Stay tuned as we explore practical steps to create the life you deserve. Two aspects that I would like to recap in order to make a point, a clarification for the audience right now. One of those components that you mentioned is related to self-awareness, when you understand and you can identify what emotion are you experiencing in the moment. And for people, for us, our human being and part of the society, it is easy for us to explain a physical pain rather than emotional pain or emotional constraint. We can easily point, I feel a pain on my elbow, but we can explain very well sometimes when we feel that sensation here in the stomach. Does it make sense? So it's hard for us to say, accept, or admit that we have fear, that we feel fear, or we feel overwhelmed in some cases. Although NLP, we don't use the word overwhelmed, but it is a common emotion that we can experience at any point due to different circumstances. When we are able to bring that language or use the language to describe the proper emotion that we are feeling at a certain point, we actually are winning half of the battle. Because sometimes, and you mentioned it perfectly, I just feel crap. Well, how do you resolve that problem? How do you manage feeling crap? Because feeling crap, I don't know how to feel crap. I feel sometimes sadness. I feel sometimes overwhelmed. I feel anger. I don't know how to feel crap. And I don't want to feel crap, actually. But the point, the bottom line is that we lost that part of ourselves, or we never learned it, which could be even more dramatically issue that we need to sort in of life. And I will bet on that particular point that we never learned how to actually describe our own emotions, how to tap on our own emotions, identify them, and then be able to heal them. And when you mention, for example, that it takes 90 seconds to actually make the state shift, I need to mention this. I've been meditating all my life. Since I was 9 years old, I learned how to meditate. And sometimes it takes me hours. If the emotion is too big, and anybody in the world can experience a big emotion, high emotions, sometimes it takes me hours to get out of certain emotions because, as you well explained, we fall into those patterns that drag people into the spiral that create certain emotions. And if you don't know how to describe it, imagine how can be for anybody just to make that shift pattern. But from the neuroscience, and it's so important that you mention it, when we are aware that our emotions actually triggers certain toxins that go through our blood system and create the illness, the disease that we feel in our lives, we actually start looking at them more carefully and
Yeah.
understand that cortisol in high levels combined with adrenaline is not good for your body.
No.
It doesn't help your immune system, it doesn't help your nervous system, and it actually causes so many diseases in people that when they realize they have it in their body, sometimes it requires much investment in time, effort, and prayer to get out of those situations. But when
Mm.
we are actually aware and we are able to realize that what I
Yeah.
am feeling right now is
Yeah.
anger
Yeah.
because of this particular issue or this situation that is happening in my environment. And the best way that I can heal that anger is by doing this and shifting that
Mm.
emotion in a healthy way in the moment.
Yeah.
We are actually taking care of our bodies, ourselves, and making sure that we can prolong our life in a healthier way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
100%.
thank you for bringing that up because it is so important and it is so current that we bring that
Mm.
awareness and we can start reading and educating more
Yeah.
people about this. I
Yeah.
am Gen X as well, and I
Yeah.
feel sometimes that I need to relearn the
Yes.
names, the definitions, the concepts of how we feel at certain points and how we can actually address those
Mm.
feelings in order to live in balance, to
Yeah.
achieve that real balance, which is being tapping in ourselves, in our reality,
Mm.
to be
Mm.
more functional and be able to establish this connection, to establish these relationships that are actually helpful. On the
Yes.
contrary, when we are in the position of enclosing ourselves
Mm.
with negative emotions, low energy emotions, then
Mm.
we stop being functional. We stop being able to connect with other people. We see people and we walk away. But that's
Yeah.
because all those issues are already set in that nervous system. Those issues are already set in the
Mm.
stem brain. Those
Mm.
issues are already set
Yeah.
in our subconscious mind and
Yes.
don't allow people just to be humans. Does it make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. 100%. Absolutely. I mean, there's so much you've said there that I could speak to. I think a couple of things I want to say is when you come to the point where you think, okay, I don't want to live like this anymore, the way I've been being. I want something different for my life. I want to feel different. Always look at your diet or your container. Now, the container that we live in for me is your environment. And that includes everything you read, everything you watch on TV, everything you put in your mouth, what you wear, your house, the people around you, etc., etc. Look at it. Take an audit if you like. Have a look and think, okay, are there some things in my environment, my container I've got around myself that are actually not healthy for me? And you could just choose one thing and look, it might be the food you're eating. Like, just always eat real whole food because your body knows what to do with that. It could be social media, and that's one of those things which is I have a love-hate relationship with, as I'm sure do many of us, is we're on it because we want to get our message out.
Yeah.
But right, and we know that, or we can see that the social media platform algorithms are heavily aligned to a negativity bias. And that is what they will show you. And of course, whenever you like something or watch a certain amount of a video, it will start pulling up similar things. So now you're also in an echo chamber and you're not seeing anything new. So there's just a couple of areas to look at. The other one thing about states and changing your state and how you want to be, one of the most powerful tools I used to bring myself out of that deep pit that I had dug myself into and put some pretty good walls around, one of the practices I started was gratitude journaling. And honestly, there's so much information on YouTube to learn how to do it. There's also a lot of really good science about how it strengthens those positive sort of neural pathways in our brain. It floods our brain with oxytocin and serotonin, all the feel-good stuff, and it strengthens those. So lots of good science around it, lots of different ways to do it. I will say that if you can start by doing it morning and night and just simply writing 3 to 5, I think I set myself a goal of 5 to 10 things every morning, every night. So first thing in the morning and last thing at night. And it can be simple things. It doesn't need to be big, grandiose things. It could be, I'm grateful for the meal I had tonight. I'm grateful for my super comfortable bed. You know, I'm grateful I've got hot running water and a fridge full of food. I'm grateful for lovely people in my life. It could be simple, small, everyday things. It can be big things too. But the moment you start doing that in the morning, you wire your brain to see good things. You also get a flood of all those feel-good chemicals and emotions, right? And then at the last thing at night, again, you train your brain for good things. You flood it with all the good chemicals and emotions, and your sleep changes. It starts to change. Now, like with any habit, you must stick at it. So that's the hard bit for most of us humans, is creating a new habit and sticking at it. I got a special book and pen. I put it on my bedside table. It was there staring at me every day. And so I had no excuse not to do it. So I made it easy to do. It absolutely shifted. It got me out of quite sad and unhappy and unproductive thoughts, right? And it had a massive shift. And I started that 5 years ago. I still do it. I don't always write it out now. It's just a little mantra in my head. I still do it first thing in the morning. I still do it last thing at night. And then I might do it through the day. And whenever I want to experience a shift, if, for instance, like you say, I've just been angry about something because somebody drove across my lane, you know, without putting their indicator on, I can be angry for a moment or a bit annoyed. And then, 5 minutes later, I'll be grateful for something. So it's a really nice way to flood your body with just feel good emotions. And then your body remembers how to feel like that too, which I think is quite important. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now that you mention it, I love to do journaling as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do it every single day, or don't used to do it every single day. But at night, one of the things that I enjoy the most is take pen and paper and write down. And I love it so much that I created my own journal. I call it Life Mastery. And what I attempt to it is exactly what you just explained. In the morning, set the intention in the morning and say, who are the people that you love? What is the emotions or experiences that you want to have during the day? And then during the night, you tap into that again and you assess, did I live as I wanted to live? Did I feel what I wanted to feel? How do I want to feel tomorrow? What do I want to experience tomorrow? What were those experiences that didn't allow me to have fun, to be happy, to be in love? And what can I do next in order to avoid that similar experiences have the same consequence in me? The reality, Angela, is that we end up allowing certain circumstances affect our emotional being, our emotional state. And at the end of the week, when you do that assessment of your week, you learn how many people cross the road that make you feel angry and how much anger you accumulate during that week. How deep the belief that certain people don't know how to drive was rooting within me because of those 3 people that were crossing without any type of safety measure, for example. Those are the things, Angela, that end up causing more and more problems
Yeah.
in oneself, in our families, and
Mm.
that is replicated later by our extended families, communities, and society in general. And
Totally.
when we wonder why we act this way, why we operate like this, why we always see these people acting like that, it's coming due to our minute by minute day
Mm.
that we are not aware of. And we
Mm.
allow all those circumstances to create feelings, emotions, and unhelpful
Mm.
moments that accumulate, that compound in our
Yeah.
life and
Yeah.
bring the results that we get.
Life mastery is the ultimate tool for discovering your real self and healing from any personal constraint that might hinder your growth. The purpose of this journal is to nurture your mental health and foster a space of self-development, self-awareness, and self-love, which can impact positively your thoughts, actions, and behaviors. Embark in this exciting world of personal growth by committing to answer a handful of daily questions designed to guide you through a path of development, happiness, and fulfillment.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible how it works. And at the end of the year, if you look at it, and we are getting to the end of the year right now, and I am so grateful for the year that I have lived,
Yeah.
including the negative experiences and the positive one. I look at it and I realize how many things have happened that
Mm.
I was not aware of,
Yeah.
and how this allow me now to take with more confidence and more love and more gratitude the following step for to live the best life that I can experience next year.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that you do the same or
Yeah.
something similar in order to set that intention, that goal, get that inspiration for
Yeah.
the upcoming year, and live
Yeah.
the best moment in your life.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, I do. I actually run a workshop. Well, I run them twice a year. So I do them at the beginning of the year. They're a free workshop. The first one is reflect and release, and we basically take the timeline idea, but we draw it out on a bit of paper and we sort of make a bit of a, like a trailer, a movie trailer. I did take all the significant sort of events, all the positive ones and all the ones we think, well, that we view as negative, and we map them out, and then we take all the things we learned from all events and the things we're grateful for, and we do some journaling around that, and then we create a word that, if last year was a chapter in a book, what would the chapter title be to sum it up? And it's a really nice way of just putting the past year into perspective and take the positive things out. What is interesting in this workshop is every time people will say, oh, actually last year wasn't as bad as I thought. Like I was in the belief that I had a really bad year. But now that I look at it and I'm now balancing my focus on not just the negative, but looking at all the positive things as well, and taking the negative things as a lesson and turning it into a positive, I now actually think I had a pretty good year. And without fail, several people will say this. The following workshop is, I call it Future You. And again, we go out on the timeline. So we've cleared the last year. We've let go of anything we need to let go of. And we've built a good firm foundation with all the positive things. And then we look forward. So we go forward on the timeline and start to create, okay, well, who does Angela want to be next year? How do I want to live? What intention do I want to live from? And, but my word this past year was present. My very first word I created was magnificent. And can I tell you, I kept that word for about 4 or 5 years because I never really felt I embodied it. So this year it was present. Next year my word is foundation, because I'm building new foundations from a new perspective and level in my life, right? So we create a word for the next year, and that it kind of becomes your GPS. It's sort of your guiding light, right? When you remember, how am I being in the world? Oh, that's right, I'm doing this thing, right? I'm having a breakthrough, or I'm having calm, or joy, or more courage, whatever the word might be. So they're two really good workshops I do at the beginning of the year, and then I do them again about halfway through the year. The other fun one, like you said, you created your journal. I also do a gratitude journaling workshop with a journal that people can follow, because I would say gratitude is my first go-to tool when people sort of ask, well, how do I stop the negative thoughts, or how do I change how I think, or how do I change my life? That's always my first one to get people to start to learn how they can reframe, So,
Yes.
so I really love that workshop. That's actually one of my favorite workshops to do. But yeah, that reflective ability, to see what you've done, and more importantly, to celebrate yourself through the year, that things weren't as bad as you thought, and you survived them, all the challenges, right? You overcame them because you're still here and still going, and there were lots of positive things too. So they're really big takeaways for people, and it can have them, it just gives them something really positive and strong to stand on. It gives them another level. Now I'm starting next year, not from down here where I thought. I've got all these great resources, and I'm now starting from here, which is a completely different starting place, really to leap forward into the new year. And then I think the coming years become exciting. Like you just cannot wait to get going with all the things you're going to do and create, and the way you're going to be wherever that is on your own journey. Yeah.
That's fantastic, Angela. Angela, we are coming to the end of this episode, and I think that these conversations have been absolutely amazing, rich of flavor, rich of knowledge, and many positive things for this audience to actually take and apply in their life. Because everything that we have explained here are things that we do every single day, that we put in practice every single day, and it's part of the learnings that we have out of our job and our experiences, our own life experiences. And I think that that's the best way for people to learn how someone else have been overcoming those challenges, how someone else have been working on themselves to achieve that level of growth, whether it's personal or professional growth. So, Angela, I am really, really pleased and thankful for you to be here, and I want to express my gratitude and acknowledge you, because you are an extraordinary being, extraordinary professional that have been in this journey to help change the world for better.
Thank you.
Do you have a final message to share with the audience? And also, please tell us how to get in contact with you. Where can we find you?
So, what is my final message? You out there listening, you are also an extraordinary being. You are magnificent, and there is that brilliance inside you. So take that first step and love yourself enough to reclaim and reveal your shine and your brilliance. That is probably my message. You are worthy and you are deserving. So, life, be here for it, right? Because life is amazing. It's remarkable. And okay, where can people find me? So look, I have my personal page, Instagram and Facebook is my full name, Angela Lucia Bennett, or Lucia, if you like that pronunciation. Either one is fine. And then my professional business page is Aligned Living Coaching. Also Instagram and Facebook. Very exciting. I'm working hard at a YouTube channel, which I hope to launch in the first quarter of next year. And my website is alignedlivinghub.com.
Wonderful, wonderful, Angela. Thank you very much one more time for being here with us. The links are available in the synopsis down this episode, so you can get in touch with Angela in their Instagram account, and also you can find her through her website. If you want to work with her, assist to one of their workshops that is upcoming this year, at the beginning of this year, you can also contact her and make sure that you are part of that transformation experience that Angela is promoting for their own clients and the people in general. My name is Angela Gonzalez, and I believe in you. I believe in your unlimited capacity to create the results that you want for your life. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for being part of this podcast, this wonderful project that brings people like Angela that want, as well as like me, to change the world for better. Thank you very much. Until the next episode of the Life Coaching Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Life Coaching Podcast. I hope that today's episode has empowered and inspired you to take bold steps towards your own personal and professional breakthroughs. If you found value in today's stories and insights, please share this episode with your friends and family, because your feedback fuels my mission to bring you even more impactful content. And next week, I will continue to explore the amazing potential within ourselves. Until then, keep striving, keep dreaming, and keep moving forward towards your best life. I am your host, Angel Gonzalez, and this is the Life Coaching Podcast.